question of pupils who have submitted questions in front of
Wow.
me. So, yeah, we can dive straight in if that's all right.
Sure.
Take it away.
We've got Matthew first of all. So, Matthew, if you'd like to unmute your microphone, then go ahead.
Hi, Jason. I'm Matthew. And my question is, when going through the process of songwriting, where do you begin?
How do you begin?
Yeah.
There's a number of ways you can begin. You can begin. My favorite way to begin is grab your instrument, go to your favorite chord, or even just what I call throwing darts, and see where you land, see what chord comes up. There we go. And my favorite way to begin is to close my eyes and just start singing something, and I never know where it's going to go. And now suddenly I'm singing, and now I'm inside a new show, and so on, right? And I try to stay in the flow, and in a way stay out of my own way, right? Don't be an editor immediately, and instead try to surf that sound wave. And that might come with a lot of practice, but it's a form of freestyling or improvisation. But most often I'll land on something that I don't feel like I ever would have thought of unless I'd have just put a voice to it. So that's my favorite way to do it. Another way to get started would be to give myself a prompt or give myself some parameters. So give myself a song title or a phrase or a topic. And inside of that topic, maybe even write an outline of all the things I know about that topic, whether it's relationship, a situation happening in the world, a new lesson that I've learned, a new belief that I'm maybe struggling with or applying to my life, whatever it might be, create an outline of that. And that then starts to give me some parameters to work with so that when I start to add rhythm and tone and melody, I also have something written to sort of guide me through that process. There's no right or wrong way to do it. That's really the most important thing to remember. And I always try to write in a way or perform, I should say, improv in a way when I'm writing through improvisation. Do it in a way that surprises me, because you have to be the first fan of that song. You really have to love what you're hearing, and you really have to love it enough that you want to hear it again, and you want to hear it again, and then you're going to want to sing it again. Because if it's a great song, you're going to be singing it the rest of your life. So you have to be a fan of it, and you have to really believe in it.
Thank you, Jason. We have a lot of really keen songwriters in our music classes, so I think that'll be really useful to everybody. We have a question now from Poppy. It actually sort of ties in, and I think in some ways you've sort of started to answer this. So I'll let Poppy tell you her question.
Hello, my question is, do you actively choose a topic to write about, or do the lyrics just come to you in day-to-day life? And does this then affect how you choose key structure and tempo and things like that?
Yes. So key structure and tempo usually comes out of my mood, my energy. So if I have a heartache, like in the example of if I use "I Won't Give Up" as an example, which is a song of resilience through heartache and pain, that song was started on the guitar playing a key and a tempo that I felt was the score or the soundtrack to my mood, to how I was feeling, that pain in that that I just needed that musical foundation to hold me while I held that mood. And then that foundation became the thing that I started to sing on top of and build my melody on top of. But lyrics or prompt, it really depends. So I have a practice of songwriting. I make sure I write at least one song a week. And when I do that, I do use a prompt. In fact, my prompt this week was very strange. It was dang dang, the word dang, D-A-N-G, twice. A friend of mine sends me in the prompts so that they're a little bit outside of my comfort zone. But I ended up writing a song that I absolutely love, and I never would have thought it would come out of the words dang dang. But other times I write simply because my emotions need that. I need that support. I need that place to go to sort of get me out of my head and help me get back to a feeling of empowerment, which is creativity. When we sit down with an instrument, we sit down to create, we transform ourselves instantaneously from who am I, what do I do, to playing and, oh yeah, I am a powerful creator. Listen to what I create. It's a huge transformation that happens, but I do both. I write by my emotions and I write through prompt.
Lovely. Thank you, Jason. That's a really good question, Poppy. Nice. We're going to go to Ross next. So Ross, if you want to take your microphone.
Hi. My question is, when you were starting out, how did you break through and get your songs heard?
Baby steps, that's for sure. When I was first starting out, it was my apartment, inviting friends over, and then it was getting into dormitories and theater groups at their after parties, anywhere I could find little gatherings of people. And then the big breakthrough for me was I found coffee shops in San Diego, which were little listening rooms where singer-songwriters and poets would go to express themselves. And the audiences there, we were so blessed because we had audiences that really wanted to listen. And I was given not only an opportunity to be heard, but I was given an opportunity to watch other songwriters do their thing. And we, as a community, were able to grow and support each other. So getting my songs out there really began in the community, in those coffee shops. After that, it was recording my music at the coffee shop and letting those patrons of the coffee shop take my CDs home with them so they could learn the songs and spend more time with those songs. But so it was a slow build. Around that time, the internet was really starting to get going. I'm really dating myself right now, but this was probably the late 90s, early 2000s, and I started to mail my CDs out to people who were writing in and hearing about them. And luckily for me, a local radio station in San Diego decided to play one of my CDs. And once I started to get that kind of airplay, then other companies like record labels, they start to go, oh, who is this young man who's selling his own CDs and getting his songs on the radio? We want to work with him. So rather than start at the top, I started at the bottom, and I worked my way up one listener at a time. And I think that's really the right way to do it, because you learn a lot, and I think it's the most sustainable approach, because if you start at the top, you have a lot of convincing to do, and you might actually end up having to do it someone else's way. But when you do it your way, through your community, through your audience, you'll always have that connection with your audience.
Yeah,
Thank you.
A lot of our students, it can feel so far out of reach being able to do this for a living, but so many want to, and it's so important to remember that it's just a bit of perseverance and small steps. So that's wonderful. Thank you. Mm-hmm. We're going to go to Jess Edlin next, who's going to pop her microphone on for us, I think.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
Great. How are you? Thank you.
Good, thank you. My question is, who and what was your inspiration to start a career in music when you were younger?
Oh, it might have been my music teachers, because those individuals were the only people I knew that had careers in music. So in second grade, Miss McChesney, my music teacher, asked me to step forward and sing all by myself. I was like, really? And I sang, and I loved hearing my voice reverberate around the room and see my classmates listening. It was a really special feeling. So from that moment, I enrolled in music classes for the rest of my schooling. And I always saw my music teacher as a possibility for my career. I thought, okay, I could probably get in this. And then the older I got, I saw other avenues for where music thrives in the world. And I decided I wanted to be a stage performer. I didn't know how or which stage I would be on, but that was the path I wanted to be on. And it probably goes back to my second grade of having that moment, singing and seeing my classmates giving me that time. And I'd like to add this to this answer, but when someone gives you their time, that is the most valuable resource that person has. So as a performer, as a musician, your audience is giving you their most valuable resource, which is their time and attention. And so it's up to you as the artist, the musician, to respect that time and deliver the most powerful, most inspiring, most potent, most entertaining message that you can possibly give. Because at any point they could time you out and go listen to something else, or they could really embrace that time and they could learn something and or be affected by what you're playing. So it's important to remember that.
Thank you.
I think you gave all the music teachers a nice boost there, so thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, music teachers.
We're going to go to Hattie next. Hattie, are you there?
Hi, Jason. I'm Hattie, and I'm a keen songwriter myself. And I was just wondering what advice you would have to help me stand out from the crowd.
Be yourself, because there is no other Hattie. And we each have our own unique perspective of the universe. In some ways, we're all standing at the center of the universe. Each of us has this unique perspective. And the more you share that unique perspective, this is an interesting phenomenon, but the more personal something is, the more universal it is. So, and I don't know why that is. That's why I call it a phenomenon. But the more you sing about your personal perspective, I think other humans really resonate with that, because we all have a personal perspective that we're trying to learn about or adapt to or embrace or embody. So rather than try to be someone else or try to follow trends, just be yourself, and one day that trend will be following you.
Thank you.
Such a lovely message. Thank you. That's really nice. We're going to go to Jessica Price next. Are you there, Jess?
Hi.
Hi, Jess.
Hey, Jason. My question is, how has music writing helped you to grow over the years?
Wow, so much growth, because like I was just saying about the listener gives us their time and attention, that actually made me a better person, because I needed to respect that time and attention. So I became what I call a songwriter in service. So rather than just sing, and now this isn't always true, I've grown. So at the beginning of my career, I just wanted to be cool. Hey, look at me, maybe I'll meet a nice girl. Like, this is, my ego and my narcissism is driving my wanting to be on stage. But over time, I realized, wow, the audience is giving me their precious time. How can I best respect that time? So I've grown through this process to want to read more, educate myself on the all things going on the planet, so that when I sit down to write songs, I just have experiences, and I have access to more information that I can weave in my songs. I feel every time I learn a new important lesson in my life, I weave it into a song. Yes, for the audience, but also for me, so that I can remember that lesson. So that lesson is always embedded in the melodies that I'm singing. The songwriting is a way of problem solving, really. So I've solved a lot of my problems and healed a lot of my pains through songwriting.
Yeah, I think a lot of us relate to that. There's a lot of people who are here today who use music as a tool to help them deal with things, and it's wonderful to have that as an option. We're going to go to Max next. So Max, would you like to unmute your microphone?
Hi. How do you ensure that you, when you perform, it's to the best of your ability without the aid of a tutor or another listener?
Without the aid of a what?
Another listener or vocal tutor.
I think guidance from like a teacher or a tutor.
Right. I did have some great teachers growing up in all of my public schooling, and then a little bit early into my career, I had a vocal coach give me some vocal warm-ups, and to this day, I still use those warm-ups as a way to stay tuned up and to stay have access to all the notes that I need for my songs. So I think your question was if you don't have access to the tutor, is that what you're saying? Or if you don't have the listener?
Yeah.
Is that correct? You get to still be the first listener of the composition. If you have any kind of recording device, that's a perfect extra ear. So whether it's your phone or your computer or tape player, if you can record your songwriting process, your improvisations, or your performing of your composition, that'll allow you later to listen back to that recording and find out, do I like this? You know, where in my listening do I stop, or do I get bored with this composition? Where am I judging this? Because that might be the moment in the song that you might need to still correct or improve. Are there lines in the song that are like, they're okay, you know you can beat them, you just have to put a little bit more time into them. So be the first listener through recording. Now, if you don't have a recording device, you can write notes on your song. You know, take notation, write your lyrics down, write your notation down. That way you can play it back for yourself at a later time and find out, do I still like this composition? Because you have to be the first person to really like that composition.
Lovely, thank you. I just want to check in how we're doing for time. Is Mr. Shaw might just be in a conversation there. How are you for time, Jason?
I'm great.
Okay.
I personally don't want to go to my next appointment, so I'm happy to be right here.
Well, perhaps just a couple more questions then.
Okay.
I've got some people who asked more than one, and we had to limit them, so we'll just come back round a little bit. Matthew, would you like to ask one of your other questions then, your second question?
Yes. My second question is, how do you overcome nerves when you perform?
This has taken me a long time to figure this one out, and I have a brand new theory, but my theories are always changing. First of all, you're nervous because you're excited about it, and you're trying to see the future and feel this great experience of a performance. And you want to make sure all the words are right. You want to make sure that the tempo's right. You want to make sure that your shoes are tied, all that. There's a lot going on. And when we project ourselves into that future, I mean, it could just be moments away. I usually get nervous when I'm standing in the wings about to go on, right? And I have this theory that I get nervous because I'm projecting myself into the future, and my nervous system can't actually live in that future. So it starts to feel a little out of place. It starts to feel a bit weightless and dizzying, because instead I should be right where I'm at in the wings, enjoying this moment, knowing that when I'm in the performance moment, I'll be just fine in that moment. So what I do to keep myself from going too far out of control, worrying about the future, is I just take a deep breath. I stand in the wings, and I take a deep breath, because I can only breathe in this moment. I can't breathe in the future, and I can't breathe in the past, right? So I take a deep breath, and I do start to feel my nerves calm down. I start to feel life come inside me, and I just calm down. I know I'm going to be fine in the moment. And that really has helped. It really has helped. Before, I would get nervous and oftentimes create a moment of failure in the performance because I worried too much about the performance that I actually created the problem in the performance. So now I don't think about the performance as much, and I think about being prepared each and every moment.
Lovely, thank you. And maybe just we'll have just maybe one more question. Is Maya about? Is she here?
Yeah, I am actually.
Would you like to ask a question, Maya?
Yeah. What kind of like emotional process do you go when you're actually songwriting? Because obviously all the things that influence them throughout your life. And what is your most kind of emotional song?
I think my most emotional song was probably I Won't Give Up. I mean, I have a lot of emotional songs. In fact, I've probably written more emotional songs than anything else, even though I've only released maybe 100 songs through the music industry. I've probably written 1,000 songs because I have to have a practice of songwriting to get to the good ones. Most of those songs are emotional because I'm just dealing with life. And in life, there will always be suffering. To some degree, there will always be something that pulls at our heart. And especially if you're a music creator, you're an empath. You feel the pain of the world. You feel the struggles of the world. And you want to create a better world for them through your music. So I think that of the songs that I've released, I Won't Give Up is probably the most emotional. And I wrote that song with tears. I was, and snot bubbles coming out. I know it's gross, but it was not a pretty sight. And if I had not had a practice of songwriting, of that writing one song a week, I don't know if that I would have been mindful or smart enough to grab my guitar during that sad time and play through that pain. So writing a song a week keeps my instrument in tune. It keeps my pencil sharpened. It keeps my notebook close by. It keeps all the tools I need ready for when that moment comes, when I hear the narrator start singing in my head, or when I feel those lyrics start to come up, when the muse enters the room, I'm ready. And so I Won't Give Up it happened through a heartache. And anytime we're going through a breakup, not only do we want to make sure the relationship with the other person stays healthy, we also need to make sure the relationship with our own self stays healthy. Because when we go through a breakup, one thing we'll start to do is diminish our own self-worth, and that's not great. So I wrote I Won't Give Up for two reasons, for my friend and for myself. Like, I will not give up on us, you or me. So very emotional song for me.
Jason, do you think that you'd be able to share that song with us now? Are you happy to?
Yes.
And if I ask everyone in the room to mute their microphones, if they can do, please. We'll try and get a decent sort of sound for this. I know it's very emotional to you, so I don't expect snot bubbles at the same time, but we'll see how that goes. But it means a lot to a lot of people, actually, Jason, as well. And I know you know that. So, and before you play, I can just say it's been remarkable. You say that you're learning from people, but it's brought a depth of insight and learning, which is incredible. It's really touched us here. So I'll hand over to you now for the song anyway, Jason.
All right, thank you. It's going to take just a moment to make sure I have the right tuning for this.
I can try and fill if you wish to, but
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
Is that a dropped key, is it, or?
Yes, so I'm tuning the E string down to a D, but all the others are going to stay in standard tuning.
Okay.
And I play in this sort of drop D quite a bit. All right, I'm going to unmute. So let me know if you need more guitar or less.
I think if we could just say, make sure all microphones are off apart from Jason's, we'll be good then, okay? Just check your microphones, guys. We've got an echo on there.
Can you hear this guitar?
Yes, I can.
Is it too loud? No, it's good.
It sounds great, Jason. Let's go with it.
Okay, cool. When I look into your eyes, it's like watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold, and just like them old stars, I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How old is your soul? Well, I won't give up on us, Even if the skies get rough, I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up. And when you're needing your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you find. 'Cause even the stars, they burn. Some even fall to the earth. We've got a lot to learn. God knows we're worth it. No, I won't give up. I don't want to be someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference that I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got. Yeah, we got a lot at stake. And in the end, you're still my friend. At least we did intend for us to work. We didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without the world caving in. I had to learn what I got and what I'm not and who I am. I won't give up on us. Even if the skies get rough, I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up, still looking up. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up.
Wow.
Something like that.
I mean, I'd say, guys, turn your mics on if you want and clap. I don't mind, okay? That's fine. I've got to say, Jake, there's a huge amount of emotion in that. And for us in the room, we certainly felt that connection. So, I mean, it's a great gift to do that. I can't thank you enough for spending the time with us and for being so gracious about it as well. I'd love to stay in contact about some ideas about perhaps the farming side and even going forward from here in terms of what we do in music and with BMG would be awesome. You're a really great guy. Okay.
Thanks.
Really
like I said, I like to consider myself a songwriter in service. So thank you for the opportunity to serve today. And it's lovely to meet all of you hardworking students and faculty. And good luck on your musical journey, because it is a very, very deep journey. It's a deep practice that will transform you and it will transform the world.
So thanks, Jason. I'll leave you to your farming. Have a great day in California. We'll be in touch soon. Every blessing. Take care, okay?
All right. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, everyone. Ciao.
Bye. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.